what's up, Juventini? Welcome back to the AJC, your channel dedicated to Juventus, and it is January 6th. It's another match day just like that. No rest for the wicked. Guess what? You still have Achita from what happened on the weekend. Too damn bad. We got Sassuolo today, all right? And we got to take care of business. I got Mas with me. We're ready to have some fun and get pumped up for hopefully a victory, and then hopefully tomorrow we get a damn victory show, okay? Because that's what should have happened on the last podcast. But Mas, how you doing, brother?
Good, man. Happy New Year. Happy New Year going out to the chat and to the Army. Yeah, it's a game day. I mean, the turnaround's pretty quick, but hopefully we can pull out a win today.
Yeah, I mean, we need it. We absolutely need it. I don't think anybody would have picked slipping up at home to Lecce. Nonetheless, this is where we are, and some interesting decisions might maybe have to be made for Spalletti, but we'll take a look at that. And of course, there's always headlines. It is in the middle of winter mercato that we will talk about, as there was a lot of news yesterday about obviously Fede Chiesa, and it continues, so we'll talk about that. But there was a little bit of violence today in the news. Do we start off with the violence? Do we want the violence immediately? I kind of feel like maybe we will, and maybe we will go for that. Real quick though, what's up to everybody? It's great to see the Army popping in here. Dear Juanes, Forza Juve, Benedetto, Eddie, Michael G, All BBO. Great to see you all in here. Dan Davenport. Guys, drop a like. As always, if you're new to the channel or tuning in from another social platform, head over to YouTube and subscribe. And good luck in this month's kit giveaway. And of course, this year is the first season that we've done it, but we've run kit giveaways every single month. Hopefully that is the new norm, but thank you for all your support, because you guys have gotten us to the point where we're able to actually give back and do that and make it happen. So thank you, and that's a big props to the AJC Army. Now let's start with the violence, shall we? Let's start with the violence. Okay, so this one comes out today, and I absolutely love it, because who doesn't love violence? When I wake up, 3:45 a.m., scour the news, kind of put things together, some last-minute things for shows, etc. And then this one happens to pop by, and you just gotta love it. Giuntoli speaks and defends his time at Juventus. Oh yeah, let's go through this one. Huijsen is always critiqued. Nico Gonzalez is doing well at Atletico Madrid. Maybe I wasn't wrong at all. You can talk all you want, but my players are all starters. I'm not looking for controversy, but I didn't have time to work with just 1 year. It was a year paid for also by Bremer's injury. Did you also know City wanted Alberto Costa as well? I managed to reorganize the accounts. We had a 300 million euro loss when I arrived. We're down to 58 million euros. A roster that went from a 30-year-old average age to 25. Wow. Laying it on. Now it's time for us to react. Mas, what do you think about what he said, first off? What do you think looking back versus, where we're at now, and maybe just the early signs of Camoli, etc.? But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the biggest Giuntoli fan, but some of the stuff he's saying does make sense. I mean, from a financial perspective, we are in a better spot than before he arrived. So he obviously did something right there. In terms of the players that he brought in, I mean, there wasn't many that hit, unfortunately.
In terms of what?
In terms of players that he brought in, there wasn't many that actually hit, right?
I think there's more that hit that didn't, in terms of who's playing on a roster, because Cope Miners and Luiz, and now even Cope Miners has found a space with Spalletti, but it's at left center back. But other than Douglas Luiz, I mean, Lloyd Kelly has proven to be better than anybody would have thought, and actually helping us this year. Di Gregorio, a lot of fans don't like him, whatever, but I don't think he's by any means a bad keeper. Kefren Turam needs to wake up, but we know he's better than what he's doing.
Yeah.
Pierre Kalulu was a steal. Um, I think he's just got those two high priced guys that really hurt him, right?
Yeah, I think the expectation on Coop is what's hurting him right now. I think overall he did a good job, to be honest, and it's the guy's not lying, right?
I think the
And
biggest thing, because I'm with you, I don't think he did that bad a job. I think the biggest thing was Malta.
yeah, yeah,
You
the
can't.
power, they
He
gave him too
he
much
gave him
power,
too
right?
much leeway, right?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Like he doesn't talk about what Giuntoli doesn't talk about is kicking out your team captain at that point of the season and playing a part with Malta in derailing the dressing room.
yeah,
When you do that, you're done. You're done, right? It was too much. If he created separation and if he didn't just follow suit with Thiago Motta and realized you could say no, you're the sporting director. Like no, that's I think the biggest detriment because you just can't play a part in making a locker room what it was last season and survive. It's really hard to recover after that. But I don't think a lot of what he said is wrong, to be honest. You know?
yeah. I mean, and he's right in terms of time. We didn't give him much time, right? We gave him the year. It's a similar pattern to what's been going on with the organization, where it's win now or you're out the door. Um, and he was another victim, unfortunately.
It would have
So
been interesting to see because does he wrap up the last pieces that he wanted, which was Renato Vega, Kolomuani? Does he see those ones through? Are we better off this season with Vega and Kolomuani in the group?
yeah,
I'd probably say yeah, to be
yeah,
honest. The follow through on the coach would have been interesting to see. I would have been curious to see where he was thinking of going with that one because for me, that's the biggest detriment to him was how much leash he gave Malta. So who was he thinking like in the follow up versus who the club was deciding? So they went with Tudor, but everybody had Tudor as like this interim thing. And maybe that was the ultimate thing with Giuntoli. Like we don't know because we're not there, but maybe he was thinking of some other names, whatever, and management's just like, no, like we can't go down this road. Who knows? But there's like everything, I think, truth kind of lies somewhere in the middle, you know?
yeah, absolutely.
But
Yeah,
not everything he's saying is wrong by any means, but he left out some critical things, especially that with Thiago. But I do there. We remember the classic quotes too when all hell broke loose too, and there was a big dust up between him and Mota, and he is shouting at Continasa like, "My biggest mistake was trusting you" or whatever, and it's just like, holy shit, or I regret hiring you. It was a gong show, but Giuntoli defends himself. And the posts out there have just created sheer utter violence. Nonetheless, now we get to Chiesa as things ramp up, buddy. Okay, so I said it yesterday. Sound the alarms. Hold up. Sound the alarms. Call Suarit. Okay. Dig up those Chiesa jerseys. Juve make formal contact with Chiesa. And then, like 2 hours after that breaks out, Juve apparently get the yes from Chiesa and the willingness to move, and everything's in the hands of Liverpool. Later on from that, you get the news that it's up to Liverpool, but Liverpool will only move on a permanent. Well, where are you at on this Chiesa thing right now, Mas? Like, it's just picking up so much steam. A lot of emotions from fans, obviously. But
yeah.
where are you at on it?
Listen, for me, it's frustrating.
Oh,
Um, it's frustrating. I don't like comebacks. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I don't like comebacks. I'm not debating that there's a quality player somewhere in there, but there's too many red flags with this guy to have him come back. I mean, if you look at his injury history, if you look at potential problems in the locker room, if you look at his salary, the way he left, it's all, for me, it's a red flag all over the place, and I don't back him coming back. Like, it's frustrating because it feels like we continuously. How many former Juve players have we been linked with this year alone? Like, do we not have any new ideas? Can we not figure out something else?
We got a new idea. Guido Rodriguez, baby.
We were talking about
Guido!
it. I don't know who that guy is. I'm not going to lie to you. I have no clue. You said he was on the World Cup team. Okay, I'll take your word for it. I don't know.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh,
but,
man.
yeah, for me, it's a no on Chiesa. I mean, aside from the fact that we don't need more wingers, can we get like a center back in? Maybe a striker that can actually score goals? Like, the need doesn't make any sense. But
So,
that's good.
Yildiz, do we feel like we're getting to a point where he is maybe overused, like, and could use some breaks?
Yeah, probably. But I think we have players on the team now that can fill that that void.
Who?
Well, I mean, can Jagrova and Chico not play on that side?
Zagrova, we're still in January of 2026 and we're waiting for full fitness. Chico
Yeah.
Conceição is off the squad list today. Somebody's got to play that side too. Openda and David now pretty much rotating the top because it sounds like Vlahovic isn't going to be February and he could potentially be April.
Right.
So late March, yeah, like it's all over the place with these timetables things, right? So, I mean, I don't disagree with them looking for a vice Yildiz. And I will say this, I do understand where you're coming from, and I do kind of feel the same way in terms of everything that went down and all this. And I know that even Nico Skira now is jumping on this Malta pushing out Chiesa, etc., which is completely disregarding the fact that he was already talking contract the year before when Allegri was still around. Like, it's not like just that season, that summer, all of a sudden, Juve's like, oh my God, what are we going to do with Fede? No, you knew you were going into a final contract year the years prior.
Yeah.
You waited, you made decisions, and he had demands, and his demands didn't make sense for where he was at that point coming back in his return. So I don't want to hear about a coach thing. He made his decision. He didn't offer any discount, anything like that, etc. I kind of feel like what's done is done, and I kind of feel like returns are garbage at Juve.
Yeah.
However, he is by far the best of the bunch we've heard at the attacking options. Yesterday, I heard Edin Dzeko as a potential target for Juventus. 40 years old.
Yeah, that was bad.
Mas, as time goes on, we're starting to get more opportunities to join the club we love.
Yeah.
With our age.
That just shows you how far we've fallen in terms of striker pecking order. I mean,
it's January. My ultimate thing on case is this. Whatever happened in the past, I mean, it does kind of affect me and how I look at the situation and everything. But at the same time, if you have the opportunity to do it in January that sucks to make moves or pick up players, he's by far the best of the bunch that are available to you. Shelderlup that's out there, like, is not going to have the impact Fede Chiesa can have. And this whole talk about vice Yildiz, etc., it actually changes when you throw the name of Chiesa out there. Because Chiesa can offer something different because all of a sudden you can utilize Yildiz with Chiesa. And then that changes everything. You know? But
yeah, The only
Go
way I
ahead.
would
Go
even
ahead.
consider it, the only way I would even consider it is on a loan for 6 months and then an option to buy. There's no way I'm making this permanent because you got to think about it. Well, this is the other thing. The guy, we know what he did with Italy, right? How many times has he left himself off the squad after being called up? That's another sort of notch in the belt in terms of why I don't want him to come back. But if he's ultimately going to play for Italy, you're going to have a motivated guy, right? But not on a permanent. For me, it can't be permanent. It's got to be a loan, and then we figure it out in the off season. Um, the talent is there. Like, he seems to be relatively healthy
Yeah.
now, which is good to see. Um, I don't know. I'm not going to cry if he comes. It's not the end of the world, but can we just figure out some new ideas at some point, please?
And if 40 years old isn't going to stop you, I mean, fuck, you're going to look at Dzeko. Just bring back Del Piero, for Christ's
Yeah,
sake. Just bring
do that.
back KDP. Trez? Look at Michael G. Says, I met Trez recently. He was in great shape. Let's go, buddy. Talk about a guy that can finish things you don't even call chances. And he's putting them in the back of the net. Let's go.
Trez would probably be our best striker, to be honest, if you put him on the roster.
Probably? Oh, yeah. Easily. He could literally stand in the box the whole game, wait for the game to catch up, and then probably just still bury more than anybody that's on the team right now, if we're being serious. But January is very, very difficult shopping. This whole Vice Yildiz thing, I still ask the question, and we were talking about it at the weekend too. Like, and it's interesting because we're gonna see Muharemovic today for Sassuolo, and that's obviously Juve's academy product that's now over there that we hold 50% on the resale clause that we can hopefully take advantage of and everything. But if you're looking at this and a lot of people, and I remember Trim coming out here not long ago, 3 weeks, saying that it's defense or bust for him in January for this team. If you're considering the outside left as one of those positions, it's kind of hard to disagree with that. You think?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've been weak on the wing, not on the wing, sorry, at right back and left back for a while, and it hasn't been addressed. So for me, priorities would be one of those back positions, preferably the left, and another center back.
Yeah. That outside left position is really, really big. I know Cabal has gotten back into the squad, etc., but he's leaving people not knowing what the heck you're going to get out of this guy right now. If you're going to end up in a situation where it's constantly Cambiaso, you're handcuffing your coach as well. Meanwhile, he kind of already is handcuffed because you have João Mario who may as well not even exist. So something has to be done at the outsides too. All this push, 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 and if they spend all this time, Chiesa, whatever, here's my thing. Whatever happens there, figure it out and do so quickly, but then move on. Like,
Yeah.
let's go. I don't want to see January end up the same way that our summer did, where it's you hear this, you hear that, you hear this, you hear that, and in the end, nothing gets done. And then you scramble at the end. You've got a good run of games that are still ahead of you. Try to take advantage of this, but try to get help in for Spalletti, because right now, even if Spalletti is trying to make a stand with Cambiaso based on performances, he can't do it. He can't do it. Kostic is not a solution in any way, shape, or form. It is not. Cabal may not be either. And Joao Mario, why did Camoli make that move? It's almost like these guys have egos sometimes, and he tried to say goodbye of like Alberto Costa because he was like a Giuntoli thing, etc. I don't even know. And it's like that's why he faded on Vega, and maybe why he didn't ultimately care too much about Kolomuani is because he wanted to rid himself of the other guy and his decisions, his calls. I don't
Hmm.
know, speculative, just me venting. But you gotta help Spalletti. He's a little handcuffed. Vice Yildiz has priority, but come on.
The problem is January is not typically a time where you can fix those problems because it's either very expensive or you're kind of rolling the dice on guys
All the
that may
moves
or
are
may
the
not help.
same. All the
Right.
moves are safety net moves. Even if you're looking at Vice Yildiz, it's a safety net move. I highly doubt all this talk about Chiesa. I still always say it. I highly doubt you find yourself in a situation where Liverpool opens up to it on a loan, which it would have to be to start. Not going to
Yeah.
happen. I'd be shocked. It ain't going to happen, you know? So you're left in the same boat. You're looking at these safety net deals, cheap deals. In the midfield, Guido Rodriguez, super cheap deal. And yes, a lot of people say you get what you pay for. Yeah, that's why you don't jump in January to do shopping. You look for these safety nets. Last year, what did we do with those loans? Those were good moves.
Yeah.
You get a shot to look at some guys, you get coverage, you get safety nets. Man, we didn't take advantage of it. With Vega, we probably should have. Kolomuani, you can make the argument on price and the way PSG was operating, but Vega, you probably should have jumped on that. So it's like, it sucks to shop if you're looking to actually go long term, but it can be good if you find the right safety nets, right? It's
Yeah.
all about the details. So even if we just change where our focus is from not the attack, but we want an outside player, you want another CB, you can find some safety nets out there. You can find some moves, right? But what's killing me is when you're hearing that Juve's looking for specific types of players, and then you get links to players that are not that whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, like Guido Rodriguez. What the hell does Guido Rodriguez do to our midfield other than be a number? Meanwhile, the news is ramping up on Miretti with half of Serie A apparently interested because the price tag could be 20 million euros. I'm I'm not in a rush despite our needs. Am I wrong in saying I'm not in a rush to sell Miretti to fund this particular January window?
No, listen, I'm not on the same level as you in terms of faith in Meretti, but I'm not going to stand here and say he's not a serviceable player with some quality and potential there. So I wouldn't rush to get rid of him only because I think his value could grow in the next couple of years. Um, and he actually he's needed on this team. He should be getting more minutes.
Yeah.
Um, so that would be that type of move would be the type of move we've seen the last 3 to 5 years that has got us into the position we're in now. Um, I don't want to see it.
Yeah, it for me it's just being like one step, like it's not even a step forward. I'll say it. Like you're bringing in Guido Rodriguez is nothing. It moves the needle in no way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Like you can't do it. Selling Miretti to what? Fund a move, an attack for Fratesi? So I'd understand people saying, yeah, Fratesi's more advanced than Miretti. Fratesi would have more impact than Miretti. Spalletti would play Fratesi more. But you're also helping Inter. Why would we do that? Why would we help them out of a shitty situation? Do you believe that Fratesi's worth 35 million euros?
Not right now, no. No. Based on the minutes he's played, I actually like Cortese. I think he's a good player, but he hasn't played enough or shown enough when he has played to be valued at that. No,
I
no
think
way.
he's I think he's okay.
Yeah,
I don't think he's a 35 million euro player, and I'd hate to help out a rival when we get no help. Why would we do that? You
yep.
know?
Yeah.
Um yeah, I'm sorry. The need at that position also, because of Miretti, doesn't really put me in a spot where we have to give in to help them. So no. Like that's just a no. That's just an out. They gotta make sense of this whole thing, man. They gotta make sense of like who they're targeting, what they're doing, what they want to close out with. I don't think you need to go crazy in January. But like,
No.
let's see here, because these are all the rumors. Striker, Vice Yildiz, outside players. That's not bad. You think you could throw away center back and just say that's fine? I could actually see that. If you stick with the back three, I could actually see that. So let's say center back's out, not an option for this January. I can actually see that. An outside player for me is pretty high on the list.
Yeah.
A Vice Yildiz, if these other guys could, like, if Zagrova was at full fitness, I'd say no, you could probably work around it. But right now, with him still not being 100%, you kind of need that. And here's the other thing, the Vlahovic injury, and then Milik. You gotta laugh because he's out another 2 weeks after just coming back. Like, this guy just it's done, man. It's called J Milik. You live there.
He's
Move
living
your
the life,
family
that guy.
in. Don't go the other way. It's just that's where you'll be. So that changes things, because previously you could offer Yildiz rest, also utilizing Openda. Now you can't do that. So I get it. I get the priority there. The midfield. This is where I'm not 100% feeling this push for the midfielder in January. Because any of the targets that are there in January right now don't offer what you would actually need out of the midfield. So that's where I'm lost. So right now for me, outside player, Vice Yildiz, and striker probably make the most sense. And I'm cool with that if you find one safety net in each of those. But here's the thing with striker and Vice Yildiz. If you find a decent enough striker that could come in on a safety net move, that also opens up Openda to offer coverage for Yildiz. He wouldn't be your create or whatever, but you could change your setup into playing two strikers, right?
Yep.
So, again, them trying to think that they could fill 4 positions or whatever is probably not going to happen. So they need to jump on this pretty quick. We'll see how it plays out, but man, it can be painful. It can be painful watching these, like, listening to these rumors, hear this stuff over and over and over. I'm telling you,
the silly season.
it is, and January's the worst of it. January's the worst of it. It's not the time to do serious business and shopping, and it's only the time for safety nets. Now, we got a match. We know what happened in the last one, and all hell broke loose, and it was a shit show. And I think it leaves Spalletti with an interesting call and an interesting decision to be made in today's game. And we'll talk about today's game with Sassuolo, and then we'll get to storm the barn and everything afterwards here. Juve is the team against which Sassuolo has lost the most matches in Serie A, with 15. In the last 6 matches between Sassuolo and Juve in league play, it's been perfectly balanced. 3 wins each side. That is after previous 11 matches saw Sassuolo only be able to take 2 points. What do you believe is the most frequent score in this fixture? Sassuolo and Juve. Most frequent score.
1-0.
3-1.
No way.
3-1 is the most frequent score between these, and the last one was May 12th, 2021. There you go. In terms of Man, the recent history in this matchup suggests that Juve will not have an easy ride today. I don't know if anybody got a chance to see. Apparently, there was some news postings of what the pitch looked like yesterday. Did you guys happen to catch that? No? Here, let's
Is it a
pull it
potato
up
field?
here. Oh no. It for us over here it actually looked like a try and pull it up here. It looked like a good old Ontario Canadian day in the winter, man. Just snow packed. Absolutely snow pack. Okay? But man, this one it could be a tricky fixture, and history suggests that Juve will have a bit of a tough time in this one today. So we'll see how she's going to go. We'll talk about the previews. We'll talk about this side, Sassuolo in general, after giving us a season where they actually, okay, so obviously they spent one season in Serie B before coming back. But before that season, they beat us 1-0 and 4-2 in the space of the 6 months of that season.
Oh, Jesus.
That was, and everybody remembers those games. They were
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous with Berardi, Pinamonti, Loriente getting on score sheet for against us. They went down to Serie B. They came right back as champions, and since being promoted again, they've actually established themselves fairly decent. They were right around the European positions, and then a couple of back-to-back draws have now settled them back at mid-table, around 10th. And yeah, they're doing decent under Fabio Grosso. So Fabio Grosso, they're coaching them. Their form in the last 6 has been 1 win, 3 draws, 2 losses. Then you get to Juve. Well, after what happened there at home to Lecce, it's reaction time. The problem is you're trying to react now in what could easily be a trap matchup or a trap game. So it's one of those things, right? Very, very difficult, I think, for Juventus in this one. We're going to look at, still with the draw there, I mean, overall run of form has been good for Juventus. And Spalletti has done a really, really good job. Spalletti's doing what a lot of people were harping on couldn't be done, and that's string results together with this group of players. They're just not capable of it. They're not capable of playing good football, etc., etc. He's doing it, and there's still better that we can do. I took a lot
Yeah.
of flack for saying that on the last show. I took a lot of flack for saying that on social media, but I don't care. I stand firm. We are still capable of doing better. Our finishing tells us that, but not only that, but how we utilize our players. It's changed in a lot of the games. The formation can be the same, but if you're paying attention to what Spalletti does, roles change, and they've changed from one game to the next at times. And we had a big change the last one because Weston McKennie, everybody talked about a 4-2-3-1. That wasn't a 4-2-3-1. I'm sorry. That was like two striker setup. That was like two striker setup because McKennie pretty much played as a second striker. He was only really down deeper if you're talking about when we're defending or not on the ball. So Spalletti's made some of these decisions, and sometimes it's gone good, and other times it's kind of created a little bit of issues. But the last one, McKennie's doing his thing. He's finding ways to contribute and everything. But what was sacrificed in the last game was those creative players weren't able to get central enough. So this is what I talk about. We could still do better. For me, Keenan Yildiz, we need to give him less work against teams that clamp. Like, you need to find ways, and I think a simple tweak there goes a long way. So I say, Spalletti's doing a great job. I still think there's some fine tuning that could take us a cut above what we were seeing. Nonetheless, these are the projected lineups for the game today. We're going to get to Sassuolo. So you see Muric in goal, Walukovic, Idzes, Muaremovic, we'll get a good look at him. I'm all aboard bringing this guy back in. Take advantage of that 50% selling clause. We'll get a good look at Muaremovic today. Doig on the outside, that wraps up their back four. Ismail Kone, Matic, holy smokes. Nemanja Matic. Jesus.
I didn't realize he was on that team. That's crazy.
Thorsvet, Fedara Pinamonte, of course, and then Loriente, who could be a tricky character at times as well. That rounds out them. And credit to Sassuolo, not a team that falls victim to what the majority of Serie A does when they surrender quality. They are like dead set on playing 4-3-3, but they've done a good job of finding a way to not have that impact how they defend and how they close off and how they approach games against bigger teams. So they don't jump into the automatic 3-5-2, which becomes a five-man back line, low block that 75-80% of Serie A does. They've been able to have very tight matches with all the teams above. They've obviously dropped to Napoli and Inter, but they were tight matchups. With Bologna, I think they drew Milan, they drew so all the teams in those European spots, they've actually had good games. With Roma, I believe they lost 1-0, and that was a game, if I remember correctly, they could have also won just as easily. So I'm expecting a tight one today with Sassuolo. The numbers show it. Our history with them as a bogey team show it. I'm expecting a tight one. When you're going to look at what Spalletti's going to do with Juve, we'll take a look. But first off, it took a while for my system to pull it up here, but here's that pitch.
Oh, Jesus. Looks like
that
a
was the
Buffalo
pitch
Bills,
yesterday, according to some Sassuolo news. So, yeah. Looks great for Eastern Ontario in dead set winter. Hey, Moss?
Well, they're going to be using the orange ball, that's for sure.
Yeah, they can finally use that orange ball. There you
Bring it
go.
out.
This is what Spalletti's set to do with Juve. You got Di Gregorio, Kalulu, Bremer, Colt Miners, because Kelly could not make it in the squad list for this game, and we know Conceição could not make it in this one. You've got McKennie, Locatelli, Thuram, Cambiaso, Miretti getting the start, playing advanced there. Yildiz and David, however, we're hearing a lot that Openda is going to start this game today. And I think that PK, that decision to give him that PK yesterday complicates the approach in this one for Spalletti. What do you think, Mas? What do you think about this game heading into it? What do you think about the lineup?
Yeah, in terms of the game, it's not going to be an easy one. I mean, Sassuolo's a very balanced side. They got some good players there. I didn't realize they were 10th place when we looked at it today. It was a bit shocking. But you see their goal differential. I think they're a +1. I think they've scored 24. They've allowed 23. So, and like you said, they've played the bigger teams tough. So this is by no means going to be a cakewalk for us. In terms of the lineup and David, listen, if I'm Spalletti, I'm putting David right back out there. I know it sounds crazy, but if we're set on continuing with this guy past this season, you got to continue to find different ways to try to get his confidence up. No better way to do that coming off of that PK miss, to say, listen, you had a bad game. Get out there today and show me what you're made of. And hopefully he's able to put one in there for you. But overall, in terms of the lineup, I think based on who's available to you, that's probably the best setup you can put out there, to be honest.
Call me crazy, and many do, and it's all good. I love it. I don't mind it. This is what I'm thinking. You've compromised Luciano Spalletti into a situation with a player that was struggling to get confidence and find rhythm. I took a lot of heat for one of my takes, which was if you took the penalty miss away from Jonathan David's game, I actually don't think he had a bad game by any stretch of the imagination against Lecce there. He almost latched onto a nothing cross from Yildiz early in the game that should have probably gone in. Other than that, latched onto the only opportunities we gave to him. And other than that, his combination play was fine. It was just fine. I don't think it was a bad performance by any stretch of the imagination. Based on what he's given us, probably one of the better ones. But you hand him that PK when he should have never been handed it, and he misses it. Now you leave Spalletti with a situation where, does he let this guy fester and stew? You've got an immediate reaction game, and it's going to be a tricky one against a team that could be a bogey team against you in conditions that we see are going to be challenging. Then you have the fact of playing him. Is it a pity start? You're just trying to force feed it, etc. So here's what I would do. Kefren Turam does not play in this game today. Miretti plays next to Locatelli. Everything else remains the same, except Openda and David both start. And Kenan Yildiz plays right in the damn center. Okay? They want to play their 4-3-3. They still find a way to shell up and clamp down, etc. That's fine. But that's what I would do. That's what I would do. And I think you have enough there that you can flood the midfield with them. And you could still make a four-man backline there and even get added extra push there from Colt Miners to get a little more steel there in the middle of the park. But that's what I would do. I wouldn't leave him to one-man the line on his own. I would utilize Openda as well, because if the conditions are bad, a guy like Openda has to play in the game. Because he's just his aggression, his speed. Like, he's going to put their backline under, right? That's what I'm thinking. Am I crazy? I know I'm crazy, but
listen, I wouldn't be against that, just because, listen, in terms of our strikers, nobody's obviously stepped up to be the guy this season so far. So we're still at the point where we're experimenting, unfortunately, in January. So why not try it? I mean,
yeah,
Openda or David, no, like I said, none have shown that they want to grab the reins of that title right now. So, but
it's
for me, I put David out there for sure.
It's one of those things. Like, I'm just kind of thinking this based on everything and how it's going. It's got two strikers set written all over it, but we know Tudor didn't want to do it and Spalletti didn't want to do it. He emptied the clip in the last game and just let them fly at it because they were chasing. But I don't think he's going to start with it or anything. But out of his team that he's got there, status quo and normal, and I also don't really have a problem with it because you don't really have options. Jagrova is not fit enough, in my personal opinion. It's still, like I said, very nonchalant play from him. He doesn't look 100. And then if you're looking at Chico, he's not even there. So something's got to give. So what Spalletti does have there, sure, I can go with it. But I think that you've got to play into something with David there. If David goes on the bench, a lot of people are going to say, yeah, you go ahead. That's what you do. It was shocking, whatever. I think that was a bad decision from our captain there to hand him that ball. But it's a tricky spot for Spalletti to be in. And anybody talking about releasing David or whatever, you're way too thin to think about doing it in January. It just, nobody's going to come also while it's in this. Like, you're going to make your decision on David at season's end. He is going to have the rest of the season to make whatever decision that is going to be from Juve come to fruition. So let's see. It's going to be a tricky one, though. Make no mistake about it. If you're talking about injuries, Sassuolo's really only without Woyo Koulibaly, who's obviously away at AFCON. But Berardi is out with Volpato and Jefferson, Daniel Bolocco, and Romagna. So they have a decent injury list as well. Juve's got to take advantage of those guys not being out there. They still have guys like Loriente that can create problems, obviously. And they're not going to be weak in the middle of the park, even if it is a 90-year-old Matic. They won't be weak in the middle of the park. It's going to be an interesting one. Keys to victory? Tell you right now, man. one of their struggles is playing out against pressure. That's one of Sassuolo's struggles. One of our struggles is being able to press properly in the 3-4-2-1. Another reason why I say two strikers set, get them up full, Yildiz in behind, let the outsides, let the strikers create problems, push forward in the middle, win the ball back, put them under. Let's start taking advantage and actually game plan properly against the teams we're playing against. Don't let them play out. They struggle to play out. Let's ramp up our press, which has been really weak all year through two coaches. And it has a lot to do with the hybrid shit we're doing with roles. So for me, against them today, especially the conditions, all this, play to it. Two strikers, press, win the ball, put them under. That's my biggest key is attack them deep and win that ball. Win that ball and put them under. That's going to be one of the main things. The midfield, you can't lose the battle in the midfield. Absolutely can't lose the battle in the midfield. And I would understand why Thuram is in there today because of that. You know?
Yeah, we need to see a good game from Thuram. I mean, he's been so up and down, more so down than up this season. Let's be perfectly honest. This is one of those games where he could show that he's starting to turn it around. It's a good opportunity for him, but he's got to start showing it because I mean I called it out earlier in the season. At what point do we start worrying about this guy becoming what we think he can become?
Yeah.
Because the tools are there. It's just extreme lack of consistency. So
yeah. Watch along today? Unfortunately not, my friend. Unfortunately not. I will be at work. No watch along today, everybody. No watch along today. Now, Mas, it's time to put our money where our mouth is. Chat, you know the drill around here. We're going to give you a set the tone. We're going to talk about today's official, just give you the details. Then we're going to get into predictions, final score, and tiebreakers, okay? Watch along from work. That would be something. That would be something. Let's get into this mutt. Let's figure out what mutt's going to be officiating this one. You also got somebody, Mr. Van Boy, saying, "What's up, Mas? It's Ivan." Look at that. Is that Massimo? It's Ivan. Well, there you go.
I got fans all over the place here.
Look at this guy.
Crazy.
Jesus.
Mr. Worldwide. Mr. Worldwide.
Luca Zufferli. Luca Zufferli. 33 appearances in Serie B. 32 appearances in Serie A. In Serie B, 5.3 yellows per game, 10 reds, and 13 PKs. In Serie A, 3 yellows per game, 4 reds, 8 PKs. That is quite a drop-off in numbers. I still say they play prison ball in Serie B. Okay? That's crazy. If we look at the matches, Luca Zufferli, the last time he officiated a Juventus game, it was our 0-0 draw against Torino. So that was the last time that he had officiated one of our game, and that game saw only 1 yellow card distributed, and I believe it was to Torino. Wow. Okay, so that's the mutt that's going to do it. Now it's time for our predictions. Mas, you're going to kick us off. Final score. Give me some fun tiebreakers.
I'm typically Mr. Realism on this show. So as much as I would love to say that I think we're going to pull it a win today, I can see it being a 1-1 draw. That's my call. 1-1 draw.
A draw?
A draw, yeah. 1-1.
Yeah, this game's got draw written all over it. It really, really does. It really, really does. I think I gotta say that I think we can keep do I think we can keep the clean sheet in this game? It's such a bogey game. It's tough. We need a reaction. We need to come. Will the guys be fired up, driven, and just putting Sassuolo under, or is this going to be a split and they're going to be passive and play with fear and nerves because they know how crucial the points are, and especially because of it, like, you don't really know. I'm going to give the lads a benefit of the doubt and say that this is an ugly, like, 1-0 Juve victory. I'm going to say an ugly 1-0. I'll say we hang on, and Sassuolo doesn't score a lot of goals. No. They concede like as much as they score, and they're putting the goals in against like the weaker side. So let's go with the one. Let's go with the 1-0 Juve victory. Your goal scorer is gonna be a Gleison Bremer header. Okay, 1-0, a Bremer header. And that's what I'm going with. I'm
going David on the redemption tour scores the goal today for my 1-1.
Okay.
Captain Canada is going to do it.
Godspeed. Michael G, 1-1. Milan coming in with a 3-0 Juve.
I saw Adam drop a 4-0. I'm like, have you been watching this?
Oh, wait, 2-1 Juve. 4-0.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Wow. Okay, Adam. I also pictured that's how he said it. 2-1 Juve. Yeah, tight ones there all around. 2-2. One of the goals is a Muaremovic equalizer in the last few minutes of the game. Easy. 2-2. At halftime, then Fede to score the winner. Fede to score the winner. Swarit. Come on. He's not even here yet. 2-0, both from Yildiz. Juve, 3-1 win. 2-1 Juve Keenan Masterclass. Absolutely love it. 7-0 like in the Allegri era. That was an insane matchup. My God.
7-0. Jeez.
That was beautiful. Khedira goals all over the place. Khedira making it rain. Let's go. All right, you guys. Gonna have some fun now. We're gonna get to storm the barn. All right, everything's there around the matchup. This is a big one, and it's a tricky one. It's very, very tricky. I'm definitely like, I love the optimism. I love the multiple goal victories that are being called. I hope you guys are right, because we gotta get the points and everything. But I literally think this is gonna be an ugly, ugly match. Get ready. If you are of age or have medical conditions that need to be worried about, make sure your medication is close by, okay?
Plug yourself in.
Keep an eye on that blood pressure. It's got trap game written all over it, and that's the difficult part here, as you can see in the header. Juve's looking for a reaction, and they're trying to do it in a trap game. Good luck. Guys, everybody get the likes up, okay? Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That's what gets you into the monthly kit giveaways. Now, let's get into this. Coqui, salute, Berto. Any idea why the Juventus YouTube posts Dybala highlights more than the Roma YouTube channel? Are they trying to indicate a Dybala transfer? No, they're just playing up to emotions. I don't know. Did it have any relevance to date or to opponent? What the highlights were? I don't know. I'll be quite honest. They're all over the place. Like, Juve's actual account is all over the place.
You love it.
My God. No, like, I'm not even talking about like the content creator stuff, but like they actually did one. They posted something, and it was in collaboration with somebody. I have no idea who these mooks are, because like I just don't care. I don't have time. But it literally was the stupidest video I've ever seen in my life, and I had to do a triple take, maybe a quad take, because I was like, is that actually Juve's account? It was the stupidest thing I've ever seen, and it was like some guy sitting on his couch over Christmas looking at his phone or something. I'm like, what the fuck does this have to do with Juve? It's stupid. It's stupid.
Listen, I understand why we need to do it. I get it. But being old school like I am, it's it's frustrating. It rattles me a little bit because it's annoying. But I get why we do it. Let's just put it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah. What was Coat Miner's favorite show growing up? Looney Tunes. Oh, Adam, come on. The Tone Coat Miners. What was Coat Miner's favorite show growing up? Looney Tunes. You know what? He's fucking making me loony, is what he's doing.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Valid. And no card dished out for Adam today. All right?
No,
Good
that's
stuff.
not bad.
Would you take Lewandowski?
Absolutely. Do it up.
Yeah, I just saw him miss a fucking shocking sitter like a week ago, so he'll fit right in. Let's go.
All right. Bring him in.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like,
How old is he? What is he, like 36?
Devil's
35,
Devil's in the
36?
details. 36, 30, 36, 37,
Yeah, I'd still take it.
35?
100%.
Do you think since all the projected lineups say David starting that he probably won't? Seems like the projected lineups have been wrong. The ones from Sky usually have something incorrect. Like I stated, all signs are indicating Openda is going to get the start today. Who do you think was a better striker at their peak between Higuain and Trezeguet? At their peak. I love both of these guys. I really, really do. For me, personally, it's Trezeguet.
Yeah.
Not
And that's
a
not
knock.
taking anything away from.
Not a knock
Yeah, exactly.
on Higuain by any stretch of the imagination. David Trezeguet was different gravy. Like, that guy would finish shit where you're like, I didn't even think we'd get a chance.
Yep.
He was disgusting, man. The one-touch finishing, the volleys, like, absolutely disgusting. Trezeguet, and I love Higuain too, and I think Higuain was probably our last top striker that we've had on this team.
And the thing about Torres was he wasn't a skill player. He just had a nose for the net, and his finishing ability was top notch, right?
Dude, Trez, like, I swear to God, if he played in today's game, people would like shit talk him for being lanky or like whatever, like all the stupid shit they kind of pick on, whatever, and would have no idea. Like, this guy was crazy, man. He was so unassuming because he was awkward. He moved very awkward. He was very lanky. Like, he didn't really have, like, he wasn't blazing fast. Like, he didn't have anything that he was crazy at. He was just literally an absolute killer.
Yep.
Any way that you could score a goal, Trezeguet did it to the fucking 10 out of 10 degrees. Like, left foot, right foot, header, volley, like, it didn't matter. He would finish. It was absolutely insane. It was absolutely insane. So, for me, Trez, and it sounds like everybody in the chat too is Trez there, but yeah, I feel like he was just so unassuming. He was insane. For me, watching him and Del Piero together, best duo, absolute best, Batman and Robin, for sure. Let's see. Let's keep some moving here, and then we're gonna get to rank the masses. Thoughts on John McKinney, Wes's dad, firmly defending Jonathan David on X. Is it because his son is the only other fluent English speaker on the team and doesn't exclude him from the team luncheons? John has been, for anyone that's like been on Twitter and realized John McKinney's account and whatnot, he is very, very much always defending not just his son, but any players that take abuse that goes to the extreme. He's always out there, and it doesn't matter their background, doesn't matter where they come from, any of that, nothing matters. John McKennie's always making statements, or so I was not surprised for him stepping in on Jonathan David. I think family needs to also take it easy sometimes. Like, I'm not talking about this particular instance because there's other instances where he jumps in where you probably shouldn't. But in terms of Weston McKennie, his agent actually popped off on social media and went after Matteo Moretto, the journalist, claiming that everything's at a standstill because of agent commissions. And I actually found that funny because he flat out like took his tweet, posted it, and said complete bullshit and just attacked the journalist. And I thought that was absolute gold. So John McKennie, props, fighting the fight for players when abuse is taken, because guys, we could be pissed off, we could say whatever about David's performances, all that should never get to death threats, should never get to like racial slurs by any stretch of the imagination. Completely unacceptable. Like, what are we doing, right? So good on John for that, but also take a step back. That's all.
Well, look at what that kid from Bayern is dealing with. I can't remember his name right now off the top of my head, but he did an interview recently where he said, "I love Bayern, but the team I want to play for is Madrid. That's my dream team." And the guy is just getting killed all over the place.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name; it's escaping me. But he had to shut down comments on Instagram because people were just going at him.
Leonard Carl.
Oh yeah,
thank
Leonard
you.
Carl. Yeah.
For to you, by the way.
Ridiculous. I mean, he's just a kid, right? But people can be vicious out there, unfortunately. So
I this is new to me because I don't pay attention to much going on in their world, but he said Real Madrid's his dream. Like, that's what he said. Playing for Real Madrid is his dream.
That's, yeah, in and around there. Yeah, I didn't see the actual clip or anything, but
yeah. And Bayern fans don't take lightly to that, and just but still, you could say a lot of things, but to get to the point where it gets like death threats and like it's a bit overboard. It's a bit overboard. And I actually kind of like that he said that to kind of humble Bayern a bit. So good on him. Good on him. Now, rank the masses. Masses top 5. What top 5 do you have for us today, my friend?
I am not going until I get my music. Damn it.
Give me an air horn.
There we go. You know what? If you can find that, that'll be the music. I don't know if you're allowed to play it or not, but Little Spanish Flea will be my intro music.
Okay, done. Spanish Flea.
Anyway. Okay, so top 5 today. So, listen, Jonathan David's been in the news. You know, that missed PK. He's down on his luck right now. People are calling him a disappointment, right? Disappointing player for Juve. Came in with big expectations. So it got me to thinking, who have been the most disappointing players in history for Juventus? Now, history, let's say recent history, because obviously I'm not going to go back into the 50s, 60s, because I wasn't alive then. Didn't really see them. So
you could have asked Ganga, though.
Could have, but, he's not around all the time. It's tough to get a hold of that guy.
All right.
So, top 5 most disappointing Juve players of all time. Okay? So how we're going to do this, we're going to go 5-1. I'm going to give you an expectation versus reality. Okay? So, number 5, Aaron Ramsey, 2019 to 2022. He was a Bosman signing, 36 million euros for 5 years. That was his contract. What we expected from this guy was really an upgrade to our midfield, a box-to-box player, which he was in the EPL. He did come with a history of injuries. We knew that, but we took the chance anyways. The reality was he was a crash test dummy. That's what he was, let's be honest. The guy was never healthy. So, huge wages, minimal availability. And personally, I think this really ushered in the dawn of what J Medical is today, which is basically a revolving door of players going in and out. He was the guy who basically cut the ribbon on J Medical. That's the way I see it. The good thing is, if you want to have a good cry, go look at the cost to minutes ratio of Ramsey's time here, and you'll see what I mean. It's
Oh, I
horrible.
know.
Anyway, number 4, Diego, 2009 to 2010. That era in itself, that period of time for Juve, there's a lot of players from there that actually end up on this list. So we signed him for 24.5 million euros plus 2.5 million in add-ons. So the expectation was this guy was going to be the replacement for Pavel Nedved. He was going to be a creative star, great midfielder, was going to come in and usher a new age for Juve. Reality was he had one good month. Let's be honest, if you guys remember. So he was coming off 2 really good seasons with Werder Bremen in Germany. 40 goal contributions combined in the league in those 2 seasons. I don't know if you guys remember, but there were some people touting this guy as like one of the best players in the world coming over to us, which I thought was a bit, over anxious, but he was a good player. So he had an assist in his first league match. He actually scored in his first preseason game. He had a monster game versus Roma, 2 goals. I don't know if you guys remember that, but everybody thought this guy was going to pop off after that game. A very strong game against Roma, the 2 goals. It was literally all downhill from there. So he had 1 season with us, 42 matches, 14 goal contributions. He was basically a one and done. I will say on this one, though, Ciro Ferraro as coach was a problem there. And our midfield at that time didn't help him at all. If you guys remember, we had Felipe Melo at that time. We had Christian Poulsen as, the guys playing beside him. It was just a shit show from beginning to end. So he's number 4. Amauri, number 3, 2008 to 2011, signed for 22.8 million euros. So the expectation for this guy was he was going to be a physical Serie A goal machine. The reality was this guy just couldn't score an open play. He was useless, pretty much. We signed him coming off of a season of 15 goals at Palermo. He actually had a good start. He had 12 goals in his first season in 32 matches. Then he fell off the cliff. He scored 5 goals in the next 35 matches. So it was all downhill from there. He was inconsistent. He was frustrating. He's basically one of those symbols of that era of Juventus. Like I said, a very dark time. Number 2, Arthur Melo. Just hearing the name, it gets me all frustrated. But signed, so he was there for 2020 to 2023. Signed for 72 million euros plus 10 million in add-ons, and then Pjanic also went the other way in that deal. The expectation of this guy was going to be an elite possession midfielder. The reality was he provided nothing on the pitch, and for some reason he couldn't pass forward. It was either passing sideways or back, which was super frustrating. This guy would come on, he would actually kill any momentum that the team had and slow down the game entirely. Contributed nothing offensively. He was actually a detriment defensively. In terms of stats, 2 goal contributions in 3 seasons in 63 matches played, which is just unreal, absurd. Okay, that's number 2. Number 1, 2009 to 2011, Felipe Melo, signed for 25 million euros. So the expectation on this guy was he was going to be our new midfield general. He was going to be our anchor. He was going to be the new Vieira. Okay. The reality was he's one of the biggest disappointments in Juve history. For me, the biggest disappointment.
Yeah.
This guy was prone to mistakes, 0 leadership, red card machine. He had 5 red cards in 3 seasons. Put that into perspective. This is a guy who openly insulted his own fans after losses. Okay. This is a guy who showed up to World Cup pre-training and told the media he was happier with the Brazilian national team than when he was with his club. Okay? This is a guy who got pulled 32 minutes into a game versus Catania in 2009 because his performance was that bad. You never see that happen. That's just ridiculous. Okay? All competitions in 3 seasons, 74 matches played, 5 goals. Awful. Just awful. So he's number 1. So just to recap here, guys. Aaron Ramsey, number 5.
So hang on. So top 5 biggest disappointments at Juve in history. Go.
Aaron Ramsey, number 5. Diego, number 4. Amauri, number 3. Arthur Melo number 2, and our boy Felipe Melo, the red card machine at number 1.
All
Done and
right. So my top five, I'll give. So 5, I'm gonna go Elia. I'm gonna go the winger that was supposed to be. That was pretty much the early days highlight reel there. That was
Dutch winger,
absolutely
right? Dutch.
nothing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Krasic at 4,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna give you 3-1. Amauri, Melo, and the other Melo. Anyone with Melo. Okay, so Artur number 2, Felipe Melo 1. So those are the only changes I make. All right, I'll keep Diego out of it just because I give that guy the faith that it was a disappointment, but a different time, man. A different
He wasn't
time,
as
and
bad. He wasn't as bad as he's been painted to be now, looking back.
yeah,
He was. It was a little bit of him, and it was a little bit of victim of circumstance, unfortunately, for Diego. So
yeah, yeah. And everybody knows my thoughts on Zabina. That goes to show you how bad these others were that they kept Zabina out of the list. All right, so Zabina will always get one of those. But that's good stuff. Good stuff. So biggest disappointments. There you go. Top 5 most disappointing players in Juve's history. Let's go. Would a David Hattie today unlock him and prove us wrong? My goodness, man. If this guy got a Hattie all of a sudden, be beautiful. It'd be beautiful. This guy needs it desperately.
Trim would go right to the moon.
Oh my goodness. What's the cause for our big money and star signings never working out the last few years? Bremer is the only big money signing since CR7 that actually performed at a high level consistently. Yeah, it's true. I'm gonna say that it's a combination of a couple things. I personally feel like the recruitment side isn't maybe showing enough respect to the fact of what it's like for them coming into Juve. In a sense that the world is night and day in terms of the scrutiny that these guys are under. Not just anybody can handle that. Okay? Not just anybody can handle that. I also think you're in a different time. Like, I got to be very careful about how I say this, but, you know, the newer generation could be soft, okay? They could be soft. It's, I think, a little bit harder to find those guys made for that cut. If you're trying to keep that the same and the scrutiny is going to stay to the same level, it takes a certain individual to be able to tolerate that. And the second that stands for a guy that you sign on 15 million at Juve, okay? We can all agree there. You sign a player to 10, 15 million at Juve, he's under the same scrutiny as a guy that's brought in for 80. Then you factor in a guy that is on 80, has a higher salary. You have to do better from the recruitment department of making sure these guys can handle that and tolerate that. The second part, my biggest thing is you're not signing for the coach. You're not signing for the coach. And this whole Cope Miners thing and like the stuff I started thinking about with Giuntoli and Malta, when you start seeing signings like Douglas Luiz and Cope Miners comes in and Malta seemingly has no fucking idea what to do with this guy, like, it doesn't make sense. So I think there's a big disconnect between the signings and coaches as well as the recruitment on whether they can handle it if they are in fact the right guy. That's just me. Mas, what do you think?
Yeah, I would love to say it was because of financial reasons and you were basically just picking guys that were, financially easy to bring in or stuff like that. But we spent, what was it, 200 million a couple of summers ago? So, and those guys didn't work out. Yeah, no, I agree with your 2 points. The other one I would say is in terms of integration into the team, who are the leaders and experienced players on the team that are welcoming these guys in and showing them the ropes? Because I don't see anybody on this team that would be that type of player, like a Chiellini or a Bonucci, to to show them what it means to be at Juve and to get that DNA going.
Fair.
So we could have a whole show on this, to be honest, because I've brought this up on several occasions and I don't know what the answer is. There's just multiple answers from top down.
Yeah. Another one. Why were we so desperate at selling Weah when he's proven to be a decent wingback that can cover both flanks? Our starting right wing back is a reject midfielder, and Cambiasso has been so bad this season. Again, they offloaded and then they brought in, but what on earth was the point of João Mario? Like, he has not been given a fair shake whatsoever, and it's just like they don't care. Shocking stuff, man. Some bad moves from Kamoli already. It's just got to be said. It's got to be said. When you're signing players and not even halfway in a season, this guy's barely got minutes. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Do you think move happen for David will be at summertime? There's a lot of time. It's not going to be in January, but there's a lot of time from now until then. It could go either way. Let's just wait and see. Ride it out. Screw everything. Sign Lord Berna in this window. Okay.
Why not? There's the card.
You didn't get it for your joke, but you're getting it now, buddy. All right. Take it easy. Take it easy. What else we got? Scouting Muramovic today. 2-1 W for Juve. Come on. Hope you're right. So we get a PK. Who takes it? Kenan Yildiz.
Yeah.
Kenan Yildiz.
That's a no-brainer.
Unless it's 2-0, then it could go to anybody. 2-0, give it to anybody. Surely Yildiz should be taking or practicing direct free kicks from the left side. Why do you think he's not taking them? Why is no one on our team? Okay, I'm with you, and I said it in the last post-match coverage. One frustration I have with this team is the fact that anything that is so fundamental and basic, we make seem like it's the end of the world.
Yep.
You're paid to play a game, to kick a ball, to do so daily. When I see these fucking guys taking corner kicks that are not acceptable for my rec side team, I get a fury that just balls up inside that I could just explode, man. But free kicks, when you're one of the most skilled players and you're like, guys like Szczesny are coming out saying, oh, a future Ballon d'Or win. How could you not take a free kick? Like, how can nobody on this team, as a professional, take a dangerous free kick? It boggles my mind, man. You play on teams. There should be a handful of guys. It's like we play carousel with it, and nobody's good at them. Not a single guy that stepped up has been good at it. But like Yildiz, I've seen him take one. It wasn't good, but that's it.
I had some confidence that Vlahovic was going to possibly turn into one at one point.
Vlahovic is the best one we probably have on him, but we've only seen Yildiz take like one. But how are these guys, like, how is nobody on this team good at free kicks?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't have the answer.
But these basics and fundamentals, like, we have to get better at. You can't keep going also with coach after coach after coach where nobody pays any attention to the fact that we could get 55 corner kicks in a game and have not a single one be dangerous.
Well, how many times do we need to see Cambiaso take a corner kick and not clear the first man before we say, all right, let's try somebody else?
But it's like Yildiz too. Like Yildiz will take them. They'll be floaters. They'll have so much fucking air on them that the keeper will just come out and grab. It's like, fucking just drill that son of a bitch in there. Just drill the damn thing in there. And are we like, how are none of our players ever even close to getting ahead on it? It's crazy, man. Like,
I'd be curious to see how much time they devote in training to stuff like that, right? Because clearly it's not showing on the pitch.
yeah.
So is it being worked on? I would assume it is, but how long? How seriously? Right?
Yeah. They got to step it up. They got to step it up. The FIFA simulations. Hey, you know what? I'll bring them back. You want them back? I'll bring them back. No problem. No problem. We'll bring them back. We'll bring them back. On that note, everybody. Last one from Giuseppe. Does Muaremovic get a goal against us? No. No. But Muaremovic will not get the preliminary day. We got to give somebody a preliminary day off these guys, off these mutts, all right, before we get out of here. Who's going to get that preliminary day? Is it going to be Matic?
It's going to be Matic.
Yeah, that's a day face if I've ever seen one. There you go, buddy. Okay? That bastardo. You guys, whatever you do for good luck, do it today. Could be a grind, all right? And like I said, if you need those meds, you got some ticker issues, this one's going to be a grind, I think. But I'm going to hang tight with my 1-0 ugly victory and take those 3 points. Mas has got a draw on this one. Let's see. He's got 1-1. Let's hope for the best. And you guys know the drill. Tomorrow morning, post-match podcast is a go. We'll reconvene in the morning. But whatever you do for good luck, do it. Let's hope the lads can react. But this is going to be a very, very difficult one. You hate to have to need a reaction in a trap game. Sassuolo's been a bogey side. But hopefully, what we see today is Sassuolo, okay? And fucking beat the brakes off these punks, okay? Muaremovic, come home too. Bring this guy in. So let's have fun getting a look at Muaremovic, but hopefully we're on the winning side and we take the 3 points. As always, fino alla fine, forza Juventus. Guys, an absolute blast as always. Drop a like, subscribe, and we'll talk to you all real soon. Enjoy the match today, everybody.